high.
Can't stop the fever, Steve. Diana, could I get some more cold packs over here, please?
Yep. Right away.
White blood count. White blood count.
Offer 20,000.
I don't like the culture reports.
Nothing's working, Steve. We tried every antibiotic in the book.
He's just not responding.
Steve, we're just gonna have to face it, that his body just can't handle all this infection.
Jeff, I don't know what more we can do.
Well, at least he's putting up a hell of a fight. That's something to hang on to.
Okay, if there's any change at all here, I want to know
call the
immediately.
7th floor nurse's desk. Dr. Cunningham called the 7th floor nurse's desk.
Mrs. Brewer, you wanted me up here?
Oh, yes, I did, Amy. Thank you.
How's Paddy Kelly doing?
Dr. Hardy's in with him now, and so is Dr. Weber.
It isn't good, is it?
A negative attitude is about the last thing a patient or his family needs at this time.
I understand.
Amy, listen to me. It's just that you cannot wear your heart on your sleeve if you want to be a nurse. Otherwise, you're not going to survive the heartaches you see every day.
I can handle what happens here at the hospital. It's at home where I'm having the trouble.
Is it Laura?
Leslie's so worried about her, and so am I.
Nobody's heard anything yet?
No, and I don't know how much longer Leslie can go on waiting for the phone to ring.
You're going. Would you mind picking these up with me? After all, you did bump into me.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Could at least help such rudeness.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Have you got it? Okay.
Medallion.
Hutch, is that you?
Yeah. Lucy? Laura?
Yeah, I'm at the post office.
Anything go wrong? Did Luke get the black book?
No, he got it all right, but I'm very worried.
Did someone question his identification?
No, Luke showed him your ID, and they gave him the envelope that he mailed in care of general delivery. That part of it is fine, but there's a man, and I'm really scared about it.
What man?
He was in line behind Luke, and when Luke started out at the post office, the man got out of line without being waited on, and then he started after Luke. I tried to stop him by bumping into this woman who had a lot of packages with her, but I don't know if I gave Luke enough time to get away.
Were you able to warn him at all?
No, because he made me promise to stay here no matter what happened, because he was afraid that if someone followed him, that I might get hurt.
All right, Luke's cool. He knows he's got dynamite on him. He's going to be very careful.
Hutch, I am so frightened for
Stay
Luke.
where you are for another few minutes, then come back to the bar.
But what if Luke's in trouble?
You'll give the man the slip if he's following him. The safest place for Luke at the moment is out on the street. No one's going to risk gunning him down there in public in the middle of the day.
We can't be sure of that.
Take it from me, I'm sure.
Well, okay. I mean, I guess there's nothing else I can do.
Just hang loose for a while longer, then get back here. I promise you Luke's going to be all right. $10 million and my soul's on fire. And left-handed boy, you hold the key. Ah, left-handed boy, where can you be?
Hello, darling.
Oh, Daddy.
Surprise!
Oh, am I ever? What a beautiful surprise.
How good it is to see you.
Oh, it's wonderful seeing you. You can't imagine how miserable I've been.
Oh, I'm sorry, but it was for your protection.
I can't stand being cooped up in this house with only my aunt to talk to. But I've had time to think.
And?
I'm no longer in love with Luke Spencer.
You don't know how glad I am to hear you say that.
You've been waiting to hear that, haven't you?
To hear you say it and mean it.
I really do mean it.
All right. I've come to see you here for two reasons. One, I want you to be ready at a moment's notice to join me on a trip to Europe.
Daddy, how exciting.
But don't talk to anyone about the trip. Let it be our secret.
I promise.
And I have another surprise for you.
You know I love surprises.
This is quite a special one. It's from Port Charles. How would you like to chat with a lady who's very concerned about your welfare?
Susan Moore.
No, not Susan. Dr. Leslie Weber.
Really? That is surprising.
Yes. I thought I'd let her come here for a short visit. Would you like that?
Well, yes, I suppose so.
There's something I need from Leslie Weber, but I don't want to ask her directly.
And what's that, Dad?
Well, it's not vital. I'd just like to know the whereabouts of Luke and Laura. There's some important information I need from Luke. And I thought she would speak to you more easily than to me.
Hutch, have you heard from Luke?
No, not yet.
Oh, I'm scared.
All right, wait, whoa. Come on, sit down here a minute. Catch your breath.
Well, I ran all the way.
Let me get you something to drink.
Yeah, thanks. I can't understand where he is. I really can't.
Well, look, he probably took the long way around, trying to lose whoever's following him.
Yeah, but he didn't even see that guy step out of line.
All right, what does this guy look like?
I don't know. I remember he had a jacket on that had patches at the elbows.
All right, what color was his hair?
Yes, I couldn't see his hair. He was wearing a cowboy hat, I think, and he was about medium height, I guess.
Anything else? His eyes?
No, I was so scared. I didn't take notice.
All right, look, if this guy's the hitman, he's probably not going to make any moves.
Look, Hutch, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe I just imagined the whole thing. A guy could have stepped out of line because he'd forgotten something, and maybe he really wasn't following Luke.
Right on.
I guess, we've been on the run so long. I've gotten so that I'm just suspicious of everyone I meet.
Well, I certainly don't blame you for that.
But we should have heard from Luke by now.
All right, look, just don't worry about him.
I
think he's all right.
I can't do that. I can't. I'm sorry.
I think it's real nice that you're as concerned as you are about your old man. But I think he can take care of himself.
I'm concerned about all of us staying alive.
All right, cool it, you're Sally.
Hi, Sally. Hi, kids.
Well, this place really looks great, huh?
Yeah, let's hope we have a big opening night.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. I was wondering, why don't you check this out for me?
Oh, great.
This sort of thing would be appropriate, among others, about the other things we talked about. Well, I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. All right. Yeah, I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. They got a crazy bunch of women there. I want to get me one. That kind of bluesy type.
I like it.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I do too.
I was just kind of hoping I don't get fired before my first paycheck comes in.
You too. Lucy, are you okay?
Sure, I'm fine. Why?
Well, you just seem kind of quiet and edgy.
No, I'm restless.
Everybody's been working real hard, trying to get this place fixed up,
Yeah. Well, where's Lloyd?
He should be here soon.
You seem kind of nervous, honey.
No, why should I be?
I don't know. You just seem kind of jumpy.
It's probably my fault. I've kind of had these opening night jitters the last couple of days. Kind of It's driving me very crazy. I think it's kind of rubbed off on Lucy.
Yeah, maybe it is. And speaking of opening night, I think I'm going to go back and I'm going to get everything ready, you know, to set up for the tables. I want everything to be perfect for you tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the matter with Lucy today, anyway?
Ah, woman. Who can figure him out? The man who does is worth his weight in gold.
Dr. Thompson to ICU, stat.
You almost finished with those?
Almost. All done.
Oh, thanks, Amy.
Dr. Potter called the 8th floor, death.
Jesse, what have you got for me?
Oh, Steve, 3 phone messages here, and they want you for consultation on 2. It's the Jameson boy. He's in trouble. That hip socket is not healing well.
Oh, I better get there. See you later, Jeff.
All right, Steve. Jesse, do you have any idea where Rose and Joe might be?
They were in the cafeteria when I came on duty.
Okay, if anybody wants me, that's where I'll be.
Okay.
Dr. Schaefer called the lobby death. Dr. Schaefer called the lobby death.
Hello, Susan.
Hi, Susan. You here to pick up, check on Paddy Calvin?
Yeah, I sure am. And I'm also quite worried about Joe.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us. Hey, come on over to the lounge.
Okay.
Let's talk.
How is Paddy, Jeff?
Not too good.
But last week...
Was last week. He's just not responding to the antibiotics we're using on him right now.
Oh, Jeff. Do Rose and Joe know how bad it is?
Yeah, they know, but they're trying not to face it. Listen, Susan, Joe's going to be hit pretty hard if anything happens to Paddy. Why don't you try sticking around and help pick up the pieces, okay?
Oh, of course. Oh, poor Joe.
Listen, he's in the cafeteria if you want to see him.
Yeah, I think I will when I have to get out to Forest Hills.
What? You're going to visit Heather?
Surprised?
Well, yeah. I know that my wife is not one of your favorite people.
Well, Dr. Pirelli came to see me, and he seems to think that a visit from a cousin might just help. I have to admit the idea didn't particularly appeal to me at first.
I can understand.
Well, he finally convinced me to go see her. He has this theory, Jeff, and I think he talked it over with Diana Taylor, too. He thinks that Heather should see people who disliked her, too. That way she can't stay, how did he put it, wrapped up in cotton batting, just surrounded by you and her mother. I don't know. Seeing me might just jolt her back to reality a little faster.
That's quite a theory.
Yeah, well, it's worth a try.
Thanks for caring.
I do care, Jeff. Not about Heather very much, but I care a lot about you. And about Anne. It's going to work out for the 2 of you, you know. It was meant to be.
I'm going to walk you.
Nurse Garrison reports Dr. Gonzalez in the clinic. Nurse Garrison reports Dr. Gonzalez in the clinic.
Well, hi there.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Oh, come on in.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you for coming to the house.
Sure. Listen, what can I do for you?
Well, have a seat.
Oh, thanks.
I need some counseling.
About, having fallen in love with Jeff Weber, right?
How'd you know?
Well, I've seen you 2 together. I'm not blind, you know.
Well, I guess that's going to save some explaining.
Now, how can I help?
Well, I'm not sure anybody can help. I am considering having a physical relationship with Jeff. We can't get married for a long time.
Whoa, that's quite a statement coming from someone with your background. What are you, asking for my blessing?
Maybe I am.
What about Jeremy?
Oh, no, I wouldn't tell him. No, of course not.
Why? Why not?
Well, his age, for one thing.
Come on now. That's a cop-out. You know it. Look, either live with Jeff openly and proudly, or don't live with him at all.
Oh, excuse me, but you really shocked me.
It's just that, you know, you've set very high standards for yourself. And I just don't think lying to Jeremy about what you intend to do is any way to compromise those standards, that's all.
You see, we might not be able to get married for about 5 years, even longer. Unless, Jeff's wife gets better, then she can give him a divorce. I just don't know what to do, Jim. What should I do? Should I turn him away, or should I follow my heart and have an affair with the man I love?
Oh, Ann, I can't give you an answer to that. I wish I could. And I'm afraid you're going to have to find your own answer.
Yes, of course. It's just so difficult. I mean, when I'm with him, it just feels so right. But when we're apart, I think of Heather, and I just get this terrible guilt feeling.
Elaine. Dr. Pirelli wants a report after every visitor. Anything we see or hear that may give him some reading on Mrs. Weber's mental and emotional state.
She's only spoken a few words, I understand.
That's all. Then she seems to slip back into a world of her own.
Interesting case, isn't she?
Very interesting.
So far, no signs of physical violence of any kind.
None at all.
When she gets out of here, the woman she tried to slip the LSD to could bring charges, you know.
She probably will. And Mrs. Weber will exchange one kind of prison for another. Sorry, I didn't mean to take such a long break.
Oh, no problem.
Is Mrs. Weber expecting a visitor?
I really don't know. She's been sitting there like that for the last half hour, staring off into space.
I'd better check her out. Mrs. Weber? Would you like to go back to your room now? Mrs. Weber, do you hear me talking to you? That's strange. She's been doing so well up to now.
No sort of reaction at all.
Nothing. I think you'd better make a notation on her chart that she seems to have slipped back into a completely catatonic state. Lounge. I'll buzz her in.
Hello, I'm Susan Moore. I'm Heather Weber's cousin.
Oh, yes, of course. Dr. Pirelli said you might be visiting Mrs. Weber.
Is it all right if I see her?
I'm not really at all sure. Mrs. Weber doesn't seem to be herself today.
I'm sorry, Miss Moore. I think perhaps we better take Heather back to her room.
Oh, sure. Whatever you think is best.
Talk to Rose and Joe.
Yeah, I did, Steve, but I don't think it did much good.
Well, I'm afraid there's not much anybody can do to help at this time.
Yeah, well, they went back up to be with Paddy. That's kind of strange, Steve. Joe's got an awful lot of anger going about what happened that night.
Well, some stranger knifing a man in the back that way would make anybody angry and frustrated.
No, I think it goes a little deeper than that. Now, Rose said some pretty puzzling things about Joe, what might happen if Paddy dies, how Joe might react. And Paddy himself told me not to let Joe seek any revenge.
But the man who knifed Paddy is dead. Fate took its own revenge. Paddy was probably delirious when he said that to you.
Could be, but he seemed lucid. He wasn't running the fever that he's got going now.
Even so, he's a very sick man. He may have been confused.
Could be.
Jeff, there's another reason I want to talk to you. You haven't said much about your visit with Heather this morning.
No, you're right, I haven't.
You seem depressed. What happened?
Heather knew who I was.
Weren't you prepared for that?
I don't know if I'm prepared for any of this, Steve.
But surely you must have known she'd recognize you after all. She told Mrs. Grant to get Jeff.
I guess what I'm not prepared for, Steve, is having to live on two levels like this. Wanting Heather to get well so I can marry Anne and just...
Feeling compassion for Heather, huh?
Yeah.
Jeff, you're a doctor and a human being. Your compassion for Heather reflects in no way upon your love for Anne.
No, but what's going to happen to Anne in the long run? Steve, let's face it. That woman out there at Forest Hills, that woman that I barely even know anymore, she's my wife. And I told her I would do everything I possibly could to help her get back.
And you will. Dr. Pirelli expects you to do it, and more importantly, you expect yourself to do it.
You know, it was rough enough when Heather was sitting out there like a vegetable, not saying anything, just sitting there and staring. But now that she's celebrating and can talk to me.
She actually talked to you?
Well, no, not actually, but what she did say was kind of a shocker.
What was that?
Well, I was trying to reassure her. I told her I'd be there to help her any way I could. That more than anything in the world, I wanted her to be well. And she looked at me and said, "You're my husband." I felt extremely trapped.
Oh, my. Hey, have you talked to Anne about this?
No, and I'm not sure I want to tell her about that part of it. Steve, I'm worried. I mean, what if Heather needs me? I mean, really needs me? How's that going to affect my relationship with Anne?
Will a passenger Michael O'Brien report to the ticket counter, please? Passenger Michael O'Brien to the ticket counter.
The medallion. Sally speaking.
Hi, Sally. This is Lloyd. Can I talk to Lucy?
Sure, hon. Lucy, it's that man of yours.
Thank you.
And tell him that we got a lot of work to do before the opening, okay, hon?
Yeah, I will.
There you go.
Lloyd, you don't know how glad I am that you called.
Okay, baby, I'm all right.
Luke, there was a man following you.
I didn't see anybody.
You didn't?
No. But I cut through a lot of back alleys to get here. I don't know, maybe there was somebody tailing me. I'm not sure. Look, I'm going to come back to the bar right away. I don't want Sally to get suspicious.
Yeah, she's been asking about you already.
Okay. Now listen very carefully. I'm in the bus station. I put the book in a locker here. I'm taking the key, and I'm gonna tape it inside the earpiece of the phone I'm speaking from. I bought some tape. I'm in the very first public telephone booth next to the lockers. I want you to understand that just in case.
In case of what?
In case anything happens to me, I want you to be able to get a hold of this book.
Oh, Luke, I'm so scared.
Well, that makes two of us, baby. Stay pretty. I'll be back there as soon as I can.
Be careful, please. Be careful.
I will.
Will driver Sandy Masson please report to dispatcher's office? Driver Sandy Masson to dispatcher's office, please.